in class 11, we have already studied about relations and functions. Just taking up that prerequisite knowledge, in this class we are going to study about types of relations and types of functions. Before we actually go to what are types of relations and functions, let us revise what is relation and function. You have studied in your 11th class that we have two non-empty sets there, A and B, and then we have some relation or connectivity between the two elements. Set A is called as a domain, whereas set B is called as a codomain. This thing you must be remembering. Now what is relation? That it has a specific connectivity. The elements of A have specific connectivity with the element of B. So we have already studied that your relation is nothing but the subset of Cartesian product A cross B. So let us revise it. The set from where the mapping is done is called as a domain. Where the mapping lands, that is called as a codomain. And set of relation is the subset of the Cartesian product, that is A cross B in this case. So we can say that they have a definite connectivity between them. Now let us come to what are types of relations. Okay, now if I have a set of relation defined as R, okay, and if it is not having any element which is connected from A to B, so definitely I will not have any element, okay, which is subset of A cross B. In our case, what we have discussed, it means none of the element of A is related to any of the element of B. So if this is the case, then this kind of relation is called as empty relation. This relation is called as empty relation. Is that clear? Second one, if I come, then the next definition is universal relation. Now universal means what, children? If I take set A and B, then all the elements of A and B are related. Okay, all the elements of A and B are related to each other. Okay, I use some different color to make it. Okay, in this manner, if I have the things, so what is this relation actually? This relation is nothing but the Cartesian product set. Yes, so when set of relation is equal to the set of Cartesian product, then this kind of relation is called as universal relation. This is called as universal relation. Is that clear, everyone? So first thing was empty relation, second universal relation. Now the third topic is the topic which is actually very important, and you get questions in your board examinations on this topic. Let us see what is that. Before we come to that type of relation which is called as equivalence relation, we need to learn three cases in this. Okay, now a set A or a relation R is said to be equivalence. We are going to learn this new type of relation, that is equivalence. Now first let me tell you what is this equivalence relation. Now the relation is said to be an equivalence relation if first it is reflexive. I am going to tell you all these things in detail if it is reflexive. Second, it is symmetric. it is symmetric, and third, it is transitive. So if a relation follows all these three properties, that it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive, then we say that the relation is an equivalence relation. Then we say that the relation is an equivalence relation. This much is clear to everyone? In a set, A is called reflexive when every element of set is related to itself. Now just see this slide here. A relation R in set A is called a reflexive relation if A is related to A. If A is related to A means what? Every element is related to itself. The thing will be clear to you when you go through this example. Okay, you could see A related to A. Just see here. Now if I see set A 1, 2, 3 is given to me, and if I have the set of relation that I have 1, 1 as a part of set, 2, 2 as a part of set, and 3, 3 is also as a part of set. So all the three elements 1, 2 and 3 are related to itself. Then this relation is called as a reflexive relation. Second comes symmetric. The relation R on the set A is called symmetric if I have xy belongs to R, and then in the set I have that even y and x belongs to R. Okay, means xy is already in a set. With that, if I have that yx is also in the set, it means just like this mirror image. Okay, x and y is there, so y and x is also there. If this property is satisfied, then the relation is said to be symmetric. Then the relation transitive. Now let us see what is the transitive relation. Transitive relation, just pay attention. If I have a set R on A, okay, when it is called transitive, I should have AB belongs to R and BC belongs to R. You could see second element of the first and the first element of the second are same. So AB belongs to R and BC belongs to R. If I have these two things, and along with these two things I have that AC also belongs to R. So you could see that A and C also belongs to R. So if this is satisfied, then we say that the relation is a transitive relation. You could see here xy belongs to R, yz belongs to R. You could see the second and the first element of respectively first and second order pair are same. So what I am having, and with this I get that even x and z is also the element of R, then the relation is said to be a transitive relation. And earlier only I told you that the relation is said to be equivalence. The relation is said to be equivalence when it is reflexive. Yes, that is A related to A. Then second, it is symmetric. That is, if I have AB belongs to R, I would have BA also belongs to R. Yes, this much is clear. And then the third thing is transitive. Let us see when the relation is said to be transitive. If I have AB belongs to R, BC belongs to R, and these two implies that AC also belongs to R, then the relation is said to be transitive. So for a relation to be equivalent, I should have that it is reflexive, it is symmetric, and it is transitive. Is this clear to everyone? The relation is said to be reflexive. Now, you tell me children any one example which you can see. Every triangle is congruent to itself. Yes, definitely. So I will get that T1 is related to itself, so I get that reflexive. Symmetric. Suppose I have T1 is congruent to T2 and T2 is congruent to T1. So vice versa, definitely. If T1 is congruent to T2, they belong to set, and even T2 will be congruent to T1. So I have that T1, T2 is element of a set, then T2 and T1 is also element of a set, right? Now for transitivity, let us do it. If I have T1 and T2 belongs to R, and then I have T2 and T3 belongs to R. Now you know, if T1 is congruent to T2 and T2 is congruent to T3, so definitely I will get that T3 is congruent to T1. So this will very clearly, you know the rules of congruency. So definitely I will get T1, T3 also belongs to R. So this is a very easy example of equivalence relation to understand that if the relation is reflexive, symmetric and transitive, it is said to be equivalent. So example of congruent triangles give you a very clear picture of equivalence relation. Now the next topic which we are going to start is types of functions. What did we do just now? We saw types of relations. Now let us see what are types of functions. In the beginning only I have told you children that we are going to discuss this thing with the help of mapping. We take two non-empty sets A and B, then we have some elements here, right, and then we have some connectivity here. Now which relation is said to be a function? Okay, where all elements in domain have unique images. Where all elements in domain have unique images. This is known to you. You have studied it very clearly in your 11th class. Now, what are types of functions? Let us see this now. If I show you this, what is it children? You could see in this case each and every element is related to the corresponding different one element. So one element with one with one with one. So in this manner this function is called as a 1 function. Whereas if you see this is also a function, definitely, because minus 3 is having only one image, that is 4. 2 is having only one image, that is 4. So uniqueness of images definitely followed. But this function is not a 1 function, because from two elements we are mapping to 1. So this kind of function is called as many one function. This type of function is called as many one function. Is that clear to all of you? Now onto function. Okay, now just see here. 1 to 1, just now I have explained you that every one element is related to 1. Many one also just now we saw. So here 1 is also related to B and 2 is also related to B. So from many to 1. So it is called as a many one. Here 1 to 1. So it is called as a 1. Now what is an onto function? Now you could see here, this is many one and this is 1. Now what is the meaning of onto? Onto function means that all the elements of codomain should be images. Means what? They should have a pre-image. Means they should be connected to the element in domain. Every element of codomain should be connected to every element of domain. Now let me explain you. Suppose I have two sets here. Okay, and then I wrote some A, B and C, and I wrote 1, 2 and 3. I have connected this, I have connected this, and I have connected this. Now what is the thing, children? You can see here 1 and 2 are having 3 images, but 3 is left out. It is not having a pre-image. Okay, it is not the image. It is only, I hope you all know this very well, that images, set of images is called as range, and it is subset of codomain. It is subset of codomain. So let me again explain you. I will take two cases here only. Okay. Now see here, I am mapping it let us take a drill now. Okay. In the first case, you could see this is not a function only, because uniqueness of image is not taken up here, right? In this case, this is a function because uniqueness of image is taken up. Now, if I talk about this case, all 4, 5, 6 are having the 3 images, means they are mapped to something in the domain. If you see here, 7 is left alone. If you see here, 7 is left alone. Again, if I take some example like E, E, I, O, U. I took the vowels and then I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So first vowel, then second vowel, I is third vowel, O is fourth, and then I took U as fifth. Now 5 vowels I have connected to this, 6 is left. So if any element is left in codomain, the function is not onto. What does this mean? A function to be onto, all the elements of codomain should have 3 images. All the elements of codomain should have 3 images. In other words, I can say that all the elements in codomain should be mapped. Here you can see very clearly 6 is left out. It is not having any connectivity. So this is called as onto function. This is called as onto function. Now if I talk about definition, function f from x to y is said to be onto if every element of y has an image, okay, of some element of x under f. It means for every y belongs to y, there exists an element x in x such that f of x is equals to y. Okay, is it clear? So if this case is followed, then the function is said to be onto. So you have studied just now what is 1, 1, what is many 1, what is 1 too many, because this won't be a function, okay, and then if the function is 1, 1 and onto, the function is said to be invertible. the function is said to be invertible and its inverse will exist. So in our next module we will see how to find whether the function is 1 1 and onto, and then if it is 1 1 and onto, then it is invertible, and then we are able to find the inverse. So over for the day today, children. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you all of you.